Well, yes. Rogan, Hawks was whispering. Rogan, I'm sorry. And dark. It hurt me, and it was so cold, so quiet I could hear myself. Edward Hawks, Doctor of Science, walked alone across the main laboratory's concrete floor, his hands at his side. He chose a path among the generators and consoles without looking up, and came to a halt at the foot of the matter transmitter's receiving stage. The main laboratory occupied tens of thousands of square feet in the basement of Continental Electronics Research Division building. A year ago, when Hawks had designed the transmitter, part of the first and second floors above it had been ripped out, and the transmitter now towered up nearly to the ceiling along the far wall. Catwalks interlaced the adjoining airspace, and galleries had been built for access to the instruments lining the walls. Dozens of men on Hawks' staff were still moving about, taking final checks before closing them down for the day. Their shadows on the catwalks, now and then occluding some overhead light, modeled the floor in shifting patterns of darkness. Hawks stood looking up at the transmitter, his eyes puzzled. Someone abruptly said, "Ed," and he turned his head in response. "Hello, Sam." Sam LaTourette, his chief assistant, had walked up quietly. He was a heavy-boned man with loose, papery flesh and dark-circled, sunken eyes. Hawks smiled at him wanly. "The transmitter crew just about finished with their post-mortem, are they? You'll find the reports on your desk in the morning. There was nothing wrong with the machinery. Nothing anywhere." LaTourette waited for Hawks to show interest, but Hawks only nodded his head. He was leaning one hand against a vertical brace and peering into the receiving stage. LaTourette growled, "Ed." "Yes, Sam." "Stop it. You're doing too much to yourself." He again waited for some reaction, but Hawks only smiled into the machine, and LaTourette burst out, "Who do you think you're kidding? How long have I been working with you now? 10 years? Who gave me my first job? Who trained me? You can keep up a front with anybody else, but not with me." LaTourette clenched his fist and squeezed his fingers together emptily. "I know you, but damn it, Ed, it's not your fault that thing's out there. What do you expect? That nobody'll ever get hurt? What do you want? A perfect world?" Hawks smiled again in the same way. "We tear a gateway where no gate has ever been," he said, nodding at the mechanisms. "In a wall we didn't build. That's called scientific investigation. Then we send men through the gate. That's the human adventure. And something on the other side, something that never bothered mankind, something that's never done us any harm before or troubled us with the knowledge that it was there, kills them. In terrible ways we can't understand. It kills them. So I keep sending in more men. What's that called, Sam?" "Ed, we are making progress. This new approach is going to be the answer." Hawks looked curiously at LaTourette. LaTourette said uncomfortably, "Once we get the bugs out of it, that's all it needs. It's the thing that'll do the trick, Ed. I know it." Hawks did not change his expression or turn his face away. He stood with his fingertips forced against the machine's gray crackle finish. "You mean we're no longer killing them? We're only driving them insane with it?" "All we have to do, Ed," LaTourette pressed him, "all we have to do is find a better way of cushioning the shock when the man feels his death. More sedatives, something like that." Hawks said, "They still have to go into that place. How they do it makes no difference. It won't tolerate them. It was never made for human beings to have anything to do with. It was never made for the human mind to measure in human terms. We have to make a new language for describing it, and a new way of thinking."